I can talk about anything. Health, nutrition, conspiracy theories, the conspiracy theories of health and nutrition, the jiu-jitsu, how it plays in life, just doing what makes you happy, finding a passion, anything you want to talk about. We can talk about,
I have other people on my show, and they have all this amazing shit to say, but they don't know how to say it. This motherfucker here, he's about ready to dump it all down before we even start turning it on. Are we ready?
Yep.
All right. Good evening, universe. It's another episode of Articulate Barbarian. I'm your host, Alex Soto, the Articulate Barbarian himself. And tonight, once again, we have a great guest. Universe, say hello to Mr. Danny Ruby. Danny Ruby, say hello to the universe.
What's up, universe?
So
How
Danny,
you doing out there?
Danny Ruby is one of the first connections I'm reaching out to make in order to get my fight council. See, Danny, I was telling you before the show started, I'm building a bunch of councils. I have one council of elders. There's a few people that I have in mind, and the idea would be is for instance, the council of elders. My vision is people who have been in big business. One of them, that's off the top of my head, he runs a casino. He's been running casinos for 50 years. The other one has been in the television business for more than 50 years. One of them is an animatronics guy. The other one's shipping and receiving. We sit these old cronies down with all the wisdom, and we beforehand we give them homework. Say, look, these are these 3 items. Study, learn, and how to apply what you know with wisdom with things. But the twist is shit you would have no interest in fucking with. Social media, things that are new. The circumstances in the government today, whatever. And these guys are going to actually go over it for a couple weeks, couple months before the show. And then they're going to come together and we're going to have a show. And it's going and I say it's Last Supper style. So we're going to wrap around the table. And eventually, because I'm always grandiose, I want to have like this wizardy looking table, like one of those. Just show you how redneck that idea is. Have you ever driven out there on 40, like you're going to Daytona, and on the left at that one intersection in Barberville, there's that crazy display of yard ornaments and shit.
Yeah.
Okay, have you ever been there?
I've seen it.
Okay, that is a date-worthy day trip, because what you see is 1/10 of what's behind it. It's ridiculous. But one of the things that they have in a huge section is, you ever seen where they'll like take an entire giant piece of tree and turn it into one piece of furniture? So like they got that one huge section, and they have these big, but they're expensive, but they have this beautiful table that looks like it was carved out of petrified wood. It's polished and shit. So like have this amazing discussion. So I want to do one with the elders. I want to do one with what's called the Council of Hustlers, which is the promoters, the people in the music industry on a small scale doing big things. So that's the next thing. And then I have what I'm going to call my fight council, which will be so that we can recap, go over, discuss up and coming events, things that just passed, and frankly, I love the interaction with, with a bunch of meatheads. I love bro conversations. So Danny Ruby is a jiu-jitsu player, competitor. And though he has only been doing jiu-jitsu for a short while, we'll get into all that, but he has a broad understanding of not only the science of it, the art of it, and, I'm going to do a lot of talking, and we're working currently right now on trying to keep me from getting it's not the Alex Soto only show, but there's a lot of information I want to put out, because there's a lot of shit. Bricks and Mortar's picking on me. Bricks and Mortar, say hello to the universe. Do you have it?
There, I do know.
Okay, say hi.
Hello.
All right, he's the voice. Bricks and Mortar and Shipping and Receiving, both of them are my partners. So occasionally you might see him, but the world gets to say hello to him every once in a blue moon, and occasionally he chimes in with his smart ass mouth. So, I love the art of competition, and I believe it's part of one of the things that's scary about where we're heading in the future. That we have to, it's odd to me that karate, kung fu, UFC, MMA, it's odd to me that those are niche-y things anymore. Remember back in the day, how old are you, Danny?
I'm 28.
Okay, so 28. You're considerably younger, but you're still old enough to probably remember. I mean, I'm sure you've been watching the pussification of our nation.
Absolutely.
You know, so and again, let me wrap it up, and then we're gonna get to having a conversation. I promise. Because here's the thing: I see, you know, the idea of two people that are using all the gifts, all the available talents in their what used to be specific, like a kung fu guy would fight a sumo wrestler, but now translates over to the modern day, which is people who are basically like, you might be a Muay Thai fighter, but you're like, shit, I need to, you know, work on a little bit of jiu-jitsu to get my ground game. And then eventually what you end up seeing is like the progression of people that where they now you're seeing where now MMA's been old enough to where you see it from the beginning now, where people are entering MMA gyms, not just like, oh, I wrestled in high school. So I just wonder, at the rate we're going, my biggest worry, and the reason I want to talk to people like you is because I need young men to not be bullied by the social justice warriors. Don't listen, even as a young man, you might right now be toying with the idea of walking around in flip-flops, being cool out in the public all the time with your shaggy hair and your no work ethic. But the reality is it's the testosterone depletion of the men, the pigeon-toeing them into little girly men, and what is it though? Because see, I have a whole bit that I wrote that what is it? A feminist. Good evening, feminist. I'm a chauvinist and a sexist, but we're old school. But I'm trying to learn, and it's this whole bit I do but because we're really all part of the IST family, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the whole thing is these days, you know, young people feel like they have the right, because they have a platform that they can speak on, that they say, we have a right to say it's wrong for men to act like men. And the thing about it is it's difficult for me to buy that, because I am a savage. I was born and raised a savage, come from savage stock. And it's hard to say that. It's like that whole thing where it's like you're going to take a bunch of lions and make them housebroken. You know what I mean? So that's why when I see you in jiu-jitsu, and I got a billion questions. So let's start from the beginning. Danny Ruby, thank you for coming on the show. You're 28 years old. You're from this area. You compete. How long have you been competing? 2 years? You entered 2 years?
Yeah, two and a half years.
And were you you look like an athlete? Like, did you do like baseball in high school or?
No, actually, I didn't.
Swimming?
I hardly played any sports in high school. You know, I've been watching boxing and UFC since I was 4.
Okay.
But
who are some of your favorites? Who's your Mount Rushmore?
I'd say my favorite's GSP.
Yeah.
You know, he's one of the best fighters to do it. But one thing I like about him is he's scared every time before a fight. I mean, he says it himself. You know, he doesn't want to go out there. He doesn't even want to walk out. He's nervous. You know, but look what he does. He goes out there, competes, and now he's one of the greatest to ever do it. You know, if not the greatest.
Right.
And he faces those fears, and
right.
And that's what you got to do. You know, just like you're saying, you know, you got to embrace the savage.
Right.
You know, go against those fears. Do something you don't feel comfortable doing, and you come out better afterwards.
Right.
You know, and there's too many people afraid to do that.
Well,
I feel like.
You know, I feel like I yo-yo. I gain weight, lose weight, but overall I've lost over 100 pounds, and it's constant. It's a constant battle for me, and it's like, to me, that's like every day you get up and you have to compete with yourself just to get out of bed. And the idea that, first of all, I believe that one of my favorite guys that's like I'm kind of emulating, and I'm always talking about it. I built the entire blueprint. My guru, everything is the Joe Rogan Experience. In fact, it's funny because it's to the point where, and I'm not just straight dick riding like I'm biting everything about him. It's just he doesn't have entry music. I don't have entry music. His shit goes from black to color. My shit goes from nothing to something. You know, and it's not because I totally want to emulate it, but I just like, look, that's it's a working system, and everybody I meet, like somebody's like, oh yeah, you know, I'm in a podcast in a big city up the road. I'm like, oh, that's cool. We're having a conversation, and he's like, well, let me check it out, and I show him the intro, and he's like, you need an intro song. He's like, man, you gotta. He says, it's so important to get an intro song. That way, everybody can you know, equate that to that. He goes, pull mine up. I'll you know, turn it on. You can hear my intro song. And when it came on, it was like this crazy like death metal, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like I would never, like I was telling my partners, like I would never listen to what they had to say just from what I heard, because I'm like, anybody who likes that, I can't fucks with. So the point I'm trying to make with all this is they have Eddie Bravo. I mean, you're a fan of Joe Rogan, so you know Eddie Bravo. So you will be my new Eddie Bravo. So I'm going to be talking to you about jiu-jitsu, about the inner workings of the moves and stuff like that. But I also love how Eddie Bravo broke it down, where he talked about how if you know how to breathe, like if you learn how to breathe, get good cardio while you're in that clinch. A lot of times people they'll break down, they'll panic, right? Because they don't know what their body's capable of doing because they've never put it in that situation. Now, jiu-jitsu to me, it looks like it's almost like, obviously you're competing with the person, but in addition to that, you're also learning to compete with yourself. Am I right about that?
Yeah, 100%.
I wrestled in high school, so the only thing I can equate to it is that, but wrestling has an end. You know, especially freestyle, two shoulders, touch, bomb. You know, I don't know which rules or breakdowns. Now, what style? What are the rules that you go? Like I know EBI, and I also know the long format where there's no points and there's a takedown, or there's only pin. Which one do you do?
I do anything I can.
No, but I mean when you compete.
So there's different ones you can do.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay,
there's IBJJF. Rules where that's, so you have a 5-minute round and there's points, so you're going to get points for different positions, or you can submit the guy. Of course you always want to submit the guy first,
right.
But you can also win by points. And after 5 minutes, whoever has the most points wins, if no one submitted anybody. But then there's submission only, which is like what Eddie Bravo does. That's some people do it different ways, but for the most part, Eddie Bravo's is 10 minutes. You do a 10-minute round. It's submission only. You try to submit the guy. If no one gets a submission after 10 minutes, then you go into overtime.
But they put you in they put you in positions, right? Eddie Bravo is like when you restart, you don't start, like you'll start where you're on your back or he's on his back, and you start in that position in a, what is it called, a dangerous situation for either or.
Yeah, it's a very dangerous situation.
No, but I mean, you have to you automatically are put midstream and then go, and then you have to I guess from what I heard, based on the podcast, it was able to shave off some of the time that you're rolling around not achieving anything because you're just holding them and whatever. Yeah. So, or no, it was giving them whatever. There was some things that I was just listening that the point I'm trying to make though is so you enter all the different types. So you don't. Yeah. So now, do you have a preference?
There's points where you can, like I said, you get 5 minutes. You can win by points or submission. There's submission only, where you have 10 minutes to submit the guy. If not, it goes into overtime. Pretty much that's how they.
And what's your preference? What do you like to do?
I like the submission only.
Now, do you feel like you already had did you feel like your mind is stronger now? I mean, what can you not achieve now that you've already been, like when you're in a disciplined program that has a beginning, a middle, and an end, and one that is always to improve upon?
Absolutely.
I mean, how
first of all, in jiu-jitsu, it helps every day and improves my mind. Everything. I go in there. I get my ass kicked.
Turkish blend.
I get my ass kicked on the regular. Right. That keeps anybody humble.
Right.
You go in there and train hard, and you come out better afterwards.
No doubt. No doubt.
That's why I like competition. You got to be in the moment. You're right there.
What's
you got
your
a guy
weight class?
standing across from you trying to choke you unconscious,
No doubt.
You gotta be in the now,
And the good and one of the things that I like about jiu-jitsu, no bullshit, is, for one thing, jiu-jitsu is I think that's the answer to the question as far as what's the best art. I mean, for the overall lifespan of a person, if both people are not playing by any kind of rules, jiu-jitsu is the one where the smaller man can get one over on the bigger man.
Yeah,
because if you break their fucking toe, you win. I mean, if you twist the man's ankle, no matter how big, you break his ankle, that's it.
Absolutely.
You fuck up his knee, that's it.
Absolutely.
So I love it back in the day. Who'd have thought that when UFC started? I remember when it was on the VHS that you could, if you were lucky.
Yeah, I'd go to the video store. I remember being 4 years old, going to the video store, getting Ken Shamrock versus Dan Severn, getting, all the old UFCs.
And the thing is back then, that was like the whole idea. Remember, it was like even bricks and mortar, probably before my generation even. Oh, I wonder what's the best art, and it was always so mystical, and then they finally put an opportunity out there, and really what it came out overall, and I'm not saying, pretty much now everyone agrees that it's MMA, like it's all of it combined, but I really do genuinely believe that if everybody separated it all, and when everybody went back together again, it seemed to me that, who'd have thought that Brazilian Jiu-jitsu martial arts, and I don't know if that's what you studied, but because there are different, the Dutch have a Jiu-jitsu.
There's Brazilian Jiu-jitsu.
It's more or less what you're studying.
There's all different styles.
Sure.
There's Eddie Bravo's Jiu-jitsu. There's Brazilian Jiu-jitsu. There's.
The guy, the Boss Rutten is a Dutch style wrestling. It's not Jiu-jitsu, but it's very similar to Jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean? And his style, it's style in the sense that it's a wrestling, like they have a ground game. It's not just striking toe to toe, right?
Boss Rutten's known for striking.
No. I know he is, but if I'm not mistaken, he had a ground game as well, right?
Boss Rutten's a badass. He's got everything.
He's dope. I mean, he's super dope. Dude,
don't fuck with Boss Rutten.
No, don't fuck with.
If you learn anything today, that's a good thing to learn.
I mean, and don't fuck with people who look like Boss Rutten.
No, don't do that.
Because I met a dude who comes from that ilk, and he's like the guy. He's the guy that's on the front of the spear tip of the SWAT team in West Palm in Fort Lauderdale. He's the front. He's the guy at the front of the phalanx, right? This front point. He's that guy, and they're all the same. They have like pasty, like they're kind of an odd pasty color from like the Czech area. His is, I'm not sure where he's from, but he's a bad bitch. But yeah, the point is jiu-jitsu. Brazilian jiu-jitsu is the one that eclipsed them all. The Gracie family is the one that pretty much nullified all of them in separate categories. Am I wrong? I mean, I kind of only remember
it changed the game. It definitely changed the game. That's
because
right from the beginning.
The days of, I mean, yes, you do still see ground and pound, but the dynamic, you got to work for that ground and pound now. It ain't just quite so easy.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So, all right. So let's talk about nutrition. Okay, first of all, you have a YouTube channel. And I see it, but it's
in the very beginning stage.
Sure, of course, but every little bit helps. Like, subscribe. So, is it under Danny Ruby?
Yep, it's under Danny Ruby.
And it's some of your fights, your competitions that you've just been in recently?
Yep. If you want to know what Jiu-Jitsu is, that's an excellent place to check it out. Check out my YouTube channel.
And what do you got? Are you looking to maybe get into like a little bit of that online, diet, nutrition? That's a big business.
No, I don't need no one to tell me how to.
No. You tell people. Because you were talking about
I would. I'm not a nutritionist in any way. Don't take any of my medical advice, but absolutely bro science. You eat healthy. You know what's healthy. You don't take someone to tell you what's healthy, but you don't have to put yourself in a category. Oh, I'm a vegetarian. I'm this. I'm that. Eat healthy. Enjoy life. And stay busy. Do something that makes you happy.
Well, I tell you. We're going to have a conversation, a much more invested in conversation in the next go around. But I was discussing with vegan models, and I shout out North 17, shout out Royce Ashcroft and Imari, a fantastic group of people. And one of the things that I was really adamant about telling them was like, at no point, as far all the business we've done together and all the times we've met, you haven't like tried to force it down my face. Because it's great if you as an individual wants to make a commitment for yourself, respect. But and if I ask you, or if you want to share it with me because you care, that's great. But then after that, it's done. And those people are very good about not Well, with that being said, though, I mean, I understand the concept. Yes, you can get protein from vegetable sources, but you know, I'm a keto guy. I'm an animal. I like to eat if it had a heartbeat. That's the first thing. What can I get for you? Something with a heartbeat.
Well, you know, what I say, you know, nobody's the same. That's what I was saying. That's all I was saying is that, you know, what keto works for some people, other people doesn't. Vegetarians works for some people, other people it doesn't. But everyone's got their thing that works for them.
What do you? What weight do you compete at? I mean, is it a weight class?
Whatever I'm weighing.
Oh, it doesn't.
Usually about I weigh about 185.
Yeah, so 185. Yeah, I mean, like, you look like somebody who probably doesn't have to worry about watching what he eats.
I do, to a certain extent. I eat healthy all day till at night. Then I love cookies.
What kind of
like
cookie?
a cookie monster.
The universe wants to know what kind of cookies.
I don't discriminate. All cookies. I like to switch it up.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking. Equal rights to cookie eating. No cookie safe.
That's right. As long as they're nice and chewy.
Yeah, I don't like dry ass crusty cookies. I don't even like them when I mean, if I really want a cookie, I make them touch it, push it. Let me see your finger indentation before I buy it. Are you a connoisseur of cookies?
I sleepwalk and eat cookies. Actually, it's actually bad.
So, like, if you go to a restaurant and they sell a cookie, will you buy it to try it?
No.
Okay. No. I was about to say
it's most likely an overpriced cookie.
You know? Oh, okay, all right. Cause see, like, have you ever had that? There's a new pizza chain out there. Starts with an M, like Mario's or Marco's or. It's over there by the Ocala, by the Easy Street up there.
Yeah. And
they have their cookies. They have like a chocolate chip cookie, but instead of it being like a chocolate chip cookie, it looks like a strawberry shortcake container.
Nice.
With one crazy big chip. It's like that deep.
The crazy ass cookie.
And they run it through the oven for you before they hand it to you. So that's why I was like, "Are you a connoisseur?" Like, I can break down.
Yeah, I would eat that cookie if.
See, I go on these. No, I meant, like, you know, where's the best cookie? You know, because I get on these crazy things because I'm a foodie. I mean, that's why I
am too. Absolutely.
One of the things. Well, then you can definitely be fucking with me for some other shit too, because like. One of the things, like what we were talking about, what I'm gonna be doing with these comics this weekend, I'm a freak for restaurant trucks. Like, I love the nice ones, the real fancy ones, at 5-star restaurants on these things. So I know a place down there over in Orlando near Disney that's a big ass parking lot. It's got like 20 dinner trucks. To where the headlights light up and it makes the path you walk through. They got music, they got dancing, they got people playing. It's Puerto Rican and Cuban as fuck, so I mean it's Latino as fuck. So they're playing dominoes and listening to that. But families, you know, children, safe, security. People are cleaning while you're eating and stuff. But you got all these different restaurants, you know. So Ecuadorian, Salvadorian, Puerto Rican, Cuban, you know, Peruvian. So I love going to those different places. And another example, same way it'll all come together when I finish it up the street. There's the Columbia Burger, which is this burger that you're not supposed to order it how you want it. You gotta order it the way it comes. The motherfucker like $15. But dude, you know, it's an experience. Like, it's something you don't want to fuck with. You know, it's like, you know, not something you want to fuck with. So the thing is like, I'm really like, I can like break it down. Like, I did a whole thing on calzones in Marion County.
Nice.
And Bellevue Pizza makes a damn fine calzone. I ain't gonna lie.
I do like a good food competition.
Yeah.
I've actually beat Scooples. I don't know if you're familiar with Scooples, and there's I think Brownwood in the Villages.
He's an eater.
No, it's a restaurant.
Oh, okay.
But they have an ice cream challenge there, and I am.
The ice cream spot over there to the left. Okay, yeah.
I am a winner of the ice cream challenge.
And what is it?
So,
what's the ice cream?
Pretty sure it's like nine scoops of ice cream, so many different sides. I can't remember exactly, but it's a shitload.
Now,
it's the most ice cream you could ever imagine eating. But
what's the name? USADA tests their athletes to make sure they're not on performance-enhancing drugs. You wouldn't have been by any chance on any kind of performance-enhancing that would give you the ability to have the oomph to want to eat 9 scoops of ice cream?
Absolutely not.
No? Okay. No. Your eyes didn't match the strawberry ice cream?
Yeah. No, actually, they should have, because it would have made it a lot easier if I was to do it again. That
But
would
you
be
just
the next
muscled
step,
through,
so.
right? You just cracked your neck and went with it, huh?
You just got to do what you got to do. And,
Now, how far was it? Like the last third wasn't any fun, right?
the half, I got to half of it, and
It started
then was not
becoming
any
like, that was some.
But I did it. I overcame it, and
Damn right.
And now
That's what you
I'm
were
a better
talking
person
about.
and a winner.
Put your mind to it. All obstacles, nothing is.
Exactly.
And you push through. You're an inspiration, motivational.
Through ice cream.
Yeah.
And,
So you were telling me about your record last year, and that's January to December is how it works. So you are going. When is your next tournament, or when is the next competition that you compete in?
actually, this next Friday in Jacksonville.
How often?
10-20
I mean,
jiu-jitsu.
let me guess. There's something going on every weekend somewhere.
Nowadays, close to it. I'd say at least once a month you can probably easily find a jiu-jitsu tournament.
And how many do you try for? I mean, is there like there's 4 particular ones that I hit every year, and then, or do you have like
That's the goal.
4?
Yep. Our
Like
team,
once a quarter?
Grappling Mastery. Shout out to Grappling Mastery, Mount Dora. Come check us out. We got Bang Muay Thai as well, which is Boss Rutan's and Dwayne Ludwig's system of Muay Thai. Check it out. It's
that's another crazy one.
one of the best things going right now.
Now, do you have? Okay, so you go to Mount Dora to train.
Yeah.
That's quite a bit of driving.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do.
what you gotta do.
Look,
I dig it.
Look, you live out here. You got to drive if you want to do something.
No, I got to
And,
drive 1 hour before I start driving
Yep.
Uber. There's no
Yep.
money in this area for Uber, so you drive an hour to get to the city, and then you drive all night.
Yep.
I know what you mean.
You got to do what you got to do.
So how often do you train?
I try to train as much as I can. At least 4 days a week.
4 days a
5
week.
days
Okay.
a week. I'd train every day if I could.
So you train, you legit train 4 days a week, and what do they do? Do you get taught basics, and then you guys learn as you roll?
Yeah, pretty much.
So, are you one of those guys that study stuff on YouTube and look at, like, Boss Rutan has a bunch of stuff that was, that literally they break it down, and I can't think of the name of the guy. There was another guy that, and do you do gi or no gi?
Both.
I see, based on that conversation we were having about Eddie Bravo competing against the Gracie and winning that time, that with gi there's a lot of tools a lot of leverage tools.
Absolutely.
How does that? I mean, it seems. Why would you want to do that? It seems to me like that asks for trouble.
Well, wearing a gi. Well, just think you got clothes on. So a gi is representative of clothes. So you've got collar chokes. That presents a lot of problems someone can use against you.
Is that the theory? The theory is the reason you're wearing a gi is because chances are you wouldn't jump somebody with a shirt off and have that to contend with. So the idea is it's supposed to be, this is the collar that could.
Yeah. That's
you got to learn it.
that's
Isn't
part
that
of it.
interesting?
Yeah.
It's probably common knowledge. It's probably that's probably Jiu-Jitsu 001, page 1, start 1. The reason why it is because of this. Me, totally didn't know that.
A lot of people don't really train in the gi, believe it or not.
Well, it seems to me that it's less popular.
Yeah.
I mean, right now. How long?
Eddie Bravo's jiu-jitsu, there's, they're no gi.
Right.
They don't wear a gi.
Yeah, he likes some rash guards.
Yeah.
So, we need to get you some merchandise. We need to get your face on shit. You're a handsome guy.
Let's do it, man.
Gotta do a
Let's do it.
collabo on some merch, and then gotta get your brand. We gotta start getting you into some shit. You could be like one of those Twitch guys that might not be the best gamer in the world, but has a personality. You know what I mean? And not that, I don't know if you're great, but you're badass to me, Diddy Ruby. So, what we got next? So let's talk about your next tournament's coming up this Friday. You do 4 tournaments a year as your shoot to do 4
at least, yeah. Well, we usually do team tournaments, so we shoot for at least 4 a year at the minimum. But we also do our other tournaments that pop up.
So what's the current? Have you had?
I try to do as many as possible.
Do you have one that stands out to you that, like, you feel like you really overcame a milestone, even if it was something that you lost? Was there something that a particular match?
I'd say the ones you lose, you always learn the most from, for sure.
What's the craziest? What's the craziest one you've? I mean, like a guy who's like maybe you weren't expecting him to look the way he did, and he killed you, or he looked like a gorilla and he killed you. Is there one that jumps out? This is what we call entertaining conversation and content. So before we start asking dumb questions, let me just pick your brain on some stories that you might be able to tell.
Yeah, a lot of times it is an unassuming guy.
Yeah.
But
like I remember, I was at a party, nothing to do with jiu-jitsu. I was at a party basement up north, DC, and big party, and there was a dude running his mouth all night, fucking with people, Mr. Aggro. In comes this guy, good-looking, clean-cut kid wearing glasses, had a sweater on because it's cold out. As soon as the guy walks in, the dude starts running his mouth. He was hammered. Dude starts running his mouth about this and that, and the guy's like, "Look, man, I ain't got no problem." And he's like, "Whoa," and he's like, "Look, I really don't want any drama." He's like, "Ooh, step outside, I'll show you drama." And he's like, "Not interested." He turns around, the guy pushes him. So the guy's like, "All right, that's it. Let's go ahead and go." And then he's like, "Yeah, that's damn right." And then the dude starts unzipping his jacket, and he pulls his jacket off, and it says Golden Gloves, whatever. He was actually a badass boxer, and the guy went out there and beat his ass. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like those things you don't expect. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's
don't be an asshole.
No shit.
That's what that's about.
No
shit. Because you definitely don't know.
I mean, can you imagine? Can you imagine what was running? Oh, and I mean, the dude got lit up anyways. But can you imagine? He's like, "Oh, fuck."
Yeah, exactly. That's what happens.
That's hilarious. So, UFC. So, which one? Who would you say was your favorite?
George St. Pierre.
Yeah, GSP.
But,
were you happy with?
Speaking of not being an asshole and just being a good person, shout out to Rose Namajunas for winning the title. That's awesome. If you want to know a good story, look up her story.
Okay.
She's overcame a lot. You know.
Is this here or?
Recently, you know, she won the UFC title.
Right.
Joanna Young Jacek.
Right.
And marvelous fashion.
And she's the one that was real. Like Young Jacek should not again. This dumb shit where now all of a sudden everybody feels like they have to be. That Young Jacek isn't like that. Like that, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna come and get. I'm the boogie woman. The fuck? Who's put? Oh, Conor McGregor does it, so now everybody has to act a damn idiot.
I'd say Joanna always tries to get in her opponent's head. I mean,
yeah, but that's the worst.
Stare downs. Yes,
that's the.
Yes.
I mean, she acted way out of. I mean, like again. Well, we'll talk about that. But yes, badass story, badass fight. Honestly, I thought Jędrzejczyk was going to take her, not because of the fucking head games, but because Jędrzejczyk's a bad bitch. So the fact that Rose took it.
Yeah, she did.
I mean, you know, I'm a father of two girls. I hate it when they shave their head like that.
I agree.
She looked like that. Where it was like Aliens, you know, that when Sigourney Weaver had to shave her head in that one movie. I was like, God, what is the deal with this woman shaved head thing? But great story, and your Jędrzejczyk, that shit doesn't look good on you. Who am I to fucking say? You come over here and knock me the fuck out, but just saying, and all that. Let's talk about that for a second. So, I love Conor McGregor. I love the phenomenon of Conor McGregor. If Conor McGregor was just about any other ethnicity, he probably wouldn't be the same, because he just happened to be that one guy that lit a whole fucking country on fire. Perhaps it's because Russians are just more conservative about it. It seems to me that what's his name is obviously the Russian golden boy, but it amazes me that he's not as big as Conor McGregor, because Russia's already. I mean, he's a huge star in Russia. Who am I talking about?
Khabib
Nurmagomedov. Yeah, whatever. Khabib, you're the shit, but you got a long fucked up last name.
He's a badass. Yeah.
Listen, that guy.
No one wants to fight him.
Actually, somebody does. My boy Eddie Bravo's boy. What's his name? The tall
Tony Ferguson. Yeah. That's.
I'm gonna tell you something, man. Let me tell you something. I want Ferguson to win, but that motherfucker's bad. If Ferguson wins, I believe either one of them could beat Conor McGregor.
Absolutely.
I really do. Genuinely do. And I love Conor McGregor.
I'm not counting Conor McGregor out. But I believe they would.
Listen, I thought Aldo was going to beat him. I didn't think. I'll be honest with you. The one he beat, who's actually, we should be more supportive of him because this is the point about fucking Conor McGregor. I'm not even fucking Irish. This dude lives in South Florida. What's his name? The one he just beat, took his belt. I'm so fucking baked that I gotta get my shit and put it up there behind Jim. But was it Alvarez? Aaron Alvarez?
Eddie Alvarez.
Eddie Alvarez.
Yes, that's horrible. I shouldn't.
Yeah, I know, right?
Know that. I do know that.
We're just acting a damn fool. It's late. We're fucking off. But Eddie Alvarez, we should be supporting him.
100%. Eddie
South Florida.
He's a badass. Eddie Alvarez is one of my favorite fighters.
Good dude.
Despite I couldn't remember his name, it may not seem like he's one of my favorites.
Eddie Alvarez, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Him and Justin Gaethje, that's fight of the year in my opinion.
He's a bad bitch.
Close to it.
Tough as nails. Good looking. He's not an ugly dude. I mean,
he's been around forever. All his fights are good.
All his fights are good. He's tough as leather. But you know what he does that I don't like? That thing he does in the beginning where he does that thing with his head. Fucks me out, man. Creeps me out.
Yeah. Well,
since he started doing it. You know what I'm talking about too, right?
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about? Because you know why we talk about it? Because it's the motherfuckers doing it, and I'm not the only one. I'm just the first one to say it. I'm like, ew, what's that?
You got to. You got some other one trying to knock you. Knock the hell out of you.
That's just a weird tick of his.
Exactly.
I don't know. Is it this or whatever he does? It creeps me the fuck out. I don't like it.
Yeah.
And I'm not wishing ill on Eddie Alvarez. It just creeps me out when he does that.
Maybe it's mind games.
Well, listen, Eddie Alvarez is a bad motherfucker. Yeah, but I'm going to tell you straight up, though. Again, no skin in the game. As bad a motherfucker as Eddie Alvarez is, Conor McGregor handled him handily. I mean, handily.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
Now, Khabib's fight that he just did, handled him handedly.
Yeah.
I mean but the thing is you know, I genuinely thought Aldo was going to do more. I don't know what would have happened had that first second not happened. However, they were planning that shot, so we'll see what happens. But now the next question is what's McGregor going to do?
Conor's got a chance against Khabib. If he catches him, he's got power. But the minute it goes to the ground, Khabib's gonna get their chicken.
Oh yeah, Khabib's a fucking motherfucker, man. I mean, when it comes to
Khabib's funny, man. He's funny. I don't know if you've seen his tweets. I mean, he's a funny dude. He needs to be promoted more.
Well,
he's had some injuries. That's been his issue. But
one of the things that I don't understand, because there's nothing special about me as far as what I'm trying to achieve, is I just can't believe that there's not enough budget in their money for somebody to handle their media presence. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you're familiar with Fighter and the Kid, Brendan Schaub.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's my dog, man. I don't know him, but, I was there watching the episode when Joe Rogan wore his ass out and told him he shouldn't be fighting. I was there watching him go through every step of the way. And the thing about it is, he handled his presence, his brand, Brendan Schaub brand. He was sponsored by 6 Star Nutrition, which, some people snub their nose. Fuck, Money in the Bank. You know what I mean? Right. And he had sponsors. He had clothing deals. Fucking dude's coming out with his own coffee. His own line of coffee. So the point I'm trying to make is this kind of stuff, I think people need to be more conscious of it. I mean, you and everybody need, I was having an interview with somebody who is young, in the know, in front of all that technology stuff, knows all the stuff they need to do every day. They can edit, they can promote, they get all that stuff. And then I ask them what their social is, and they only have Facebook. And I'm like, why don't you only have Facebook? I mean, you should be promoting, because technically you have a ceiling with Facebook. Instagram and Twitter, you don't have a ceiling. You can have 10 million people following you on Instagram. You can't have but 5,000 people following you on Facebook. So for people who are like, well, I only got 3,500 people on Facebook, well, then you need 1,500 more, and you're going to be butt ass out of luck. Now I'm at the point where I'm just running through and getting rid of riffraff. Oh my God, I hate my own member. Get rid of it. Yeah. Next, find the next one. Because I'm trying to find people that are interested in coming to comedy shows, interested in getting part of some kind of a revolution. You know what I mean? So let me ask you this: what is your take on if you had you have any children?
No.
Okay, so if you have a son or a daughter, and you're gonna put them in, I used to say that's fucked up. Karate and Taekwondo turned out to be bullshit. That's what because for a minute there, seeing when the rubber hit the road, it seemed like Karate and Taekwondo didn't have it until Wonder Boy come around with that karate kick from motherfucking hell.
Every martial art is
Michael Venom Page with his his point karate with that big heavy, and then now I don't think Anderson Silva, I don't think he was directly from a karate background, but he had that crazy elk kick with that big long ass leg. So Muay Thai is Muay Thai to me is better than karate. I mean, in my opinion, it seems like the way more effective. None of my business, no skin in the game, just from armchair quarterbacking, unless you have that crazy hip, just that timing right, where you can knock that motherfucking that elk kick out, and you can do those crazy side whip kick and stuff.
Lyoto Machida's another one, karate guy. Stephen Thompson, that's one of my favorite fighters. That guy's a technical striker. He's in and out. He's blitzing in and out. But
Wonder Boy Thompson's amazing. My only beef with Wonder Boy Thompson is that sweet boy up the street. And here's the thing, he's one of those guys that we wouldn't like. I wouldn't have liked him and his family growing up. I mean, everything they do is right and honorable. Ain't got no dirty and I know that's honorable, but I also kind of like some of these more mischievous guys that are like I like it to hear the stories. But yes, Wonder Boy Thompson is the fucking role model of white America, and I'm not saying he's a racist. I'm just saying, dude, if you're a young white boy in America and you want a hero, that's a motherfucker. Yeah. He looks like the old Superman with the dark hair.
Yeah, I know.
He's all American as it gets, boy.
That's for sure.
I mean, he's the man. I really like. I'm a huge fan of the old stuff. I really like the Gracie family. I like the. See, being that I'm half Cuban, there's a lot of like old school, like bad habits that are very common in Latin America. They have them. That's what I like about them. Like, they're like warriors, tried and true, and they have these really weird ideologies because they come from a very small, old school, backwatery kind of place. But at the same time, they live a super healthy lifestyle. Let me ask you a question. Do you feel like there's a huge difference between, are you one of those guys who buy into, what is it called? Farm to table? Like, do you think there's a big difference between an ear of corn in Plant City than there is an ear of corn in Publix?
Oh, that's not. Instead of using corn, I'd say, I am with farm to table, because you know right where it's coming from, especially meat.
Is that not the worst fucking example is corn? I don't think corn matters.
I just say because it's not one of the most nutritious things, so, But,
that's probably not, is lettuce nutritious? No, what else?
No, I'm talking about corn.
I was going to give you another example. I go, wait, I don't think lettuce is very nutritious.
Yeah, you don't want pesticides sprayed all over it.
But I mean, this is like I'm on this new thing now. I'm always into some weird shit, right? So I am as well. I don't eat a lot of food in my own home. I mean, I eat out a lot. So I try, and I've been really fucked up lately because I've been on retirement, so I don't have that extra 40 hours on my feet that I used to have. Not an excuse, just an example. I'm making it better. But, I'm on this kick now where I'm going to get like 24 chickens. And I want everybody to have organic eggs for free. I mean, you guys everybody who knows me, I'm gonna put a little. There's a shed back there where you're gonna open the door, and I'm gonna have a basket that the guys from my old job are gonna have me where you can come get your own dozen, take them with you, all organic for free.
Yeah, I've got chickens.
Yeah, so you know what I mean.
I get 4 eggs a day.
Right, so you know what I'm saying.
They're fed all organic. They even get spring water. That's right.
Damn.
They even give them spring water.
You are all about the spring water.
Yeah.
Huh? Okay, well, I wouldn't be giving them spring water. My chickens are gonna have to just fend for their street water we do.
Hey, it's good to have street chickens.
Anyway, so
they're tough.
So the thing is even for the sake of, I'm against the concept logistically. Don't give me a head of lettuce from California if one of the towns in my state is called Plant City.
I agree with you.
You know what I mean? So I'm on this thing now. This year we're going to be getting the chickens. We're going to start getting our own, I don't know if I'm going to go so far as get a half a cow and put it in a freezer because I got to see where this goes. But I'm really trying to get it. I'm actually even contemplating, you might even wake up and be like, what? I'm actually contemplating getting rid of a lot of meat in my diet and just get down to lean chicken and fish.
Yeah.
And just get rid of pork. Because, I got rid of pork pretty much. Occasionally I'll eat some pork, but it's not really on my patois anymore. Steak, I really love it, but I know it's difficult to run. But my biggest thing is I actually wrote a bit about it. It's one of the worst things that ever happened for me as an Uber driver is McDonald's made a deal with Uber to where I can get a free glass of water or a Diet Coke or a Coke or whatever from any McDonald's. If they're closed in the lobby, just go through the drive-thru. Because almost all of them are 24 hours now. Most McDonald's indoor lobbies are open too, and you get free Wi-Fi. And I drive, most of my Ubering is in Orlando. So it's amazing how I would never eat a McDonald's burger, French fries, anything during the day ever. I hate fast food. But for some reason, when you're not supposed to have it the most at 3 o'clock in the morning, because you should be in bed and your metabolism's already slowed down, for some reason I can justify while I'm at the drive-thru or in the lobby getting my free soda or water, I could probably go for it. And then all of a sudden at 3 o'clock in the morning I'm doing some shit I never did before that I never do during the day. And I'm so crazy that I wouldn't even walk into a McDonald's. So I go through the drive-thru and then I sit in the parking lot and eat it because I don't want people who don't know me to see me at a McDonald's. So it's just amazing how the mind can fuck with you and start justifying things. Well, you deserve this. You don't deserve shit. What you deserve is exactly what you get out. It's exactly what you put in. It's exactly what you deserve. So that's one of the things that I'm like exactly. Dr. Phil. I joke when Dr. Phil came out with, back when he became super popular real fast, he came out with a diet book and he was overweight. He came out with an exercise book, was overweight. Yeah, so it's how dare I? Yeah. But at the same time I know, and I'm working on getting it right back. So you train 4 days a week. How long is a training session usually? A couple hours, hour and a half?
At least 2.
2 hours. Mm-hmm. And that's mostly just what? It's really up to you, right? You just go there and it's just what? Open invitation to grab a guy that's somewhat your size and start rolling around the mat and seeing who's going to be who, right?
No, at times it can be like that, but we have a regimen. I go in, I do some Bang Muay Thai, and then I go do some Jiu-jitsu and
drills and stuff.
Yeah.
Heavy bag
drills, sparring.
And when you compete now in your division, is it full contact? You're doing jiu-jitsu tournaments. You're not doing the Muay Thai.
Jiu-jitsu grappling.
So are you doing any Muay Thai competitions, or are you just doing the grappling?
No, I haven't competed in Muay Thai or anything like that.
Yeah, you probably that's pretty face. I wouldn't want to mess it up.
I'm not worried about that.
Fuck, I am. The guys do too. They're all the time. Whatever you do, just don't hurt the face. This is the money, they say.
When I feel I'm at that level, I'm not saying I wouldn't. I would actually like to, but I'm also not going to jump in and get in a kickboxing match when.
So what got you to the jiu-jitsu? What made you decide to try it? 2 years ago, what was going through your head?
Like I said, I've been a fan of martial arts since I was 4 years old. I never got into it as a kid. I don't know why. I just didn't. But I just started going. training.
But specifically, what was it that, like, because it was your favorite MMA guy? Well, why jiu-jitsu? Because it wasn't going to get direct hits in the head, or I mean, like what was it that made you decide jiu-jitsu over? I mean, it was
what to do jiu-jitsu.
Right. You know, so you're like, okay, I'm gonna go. I could go to karate. I could go to.
Yeah, I felt jiu-jitsu is definitely one of the more important ones.
Right.
I was looking for kickboxing, and I was looking for jiu-jitsu. I was looking to mix it. You know, learn whatever.
And kind of like, well, and I mean, I know that, you know, literalists are gonna throw me. You know, they're gonna be cussing me out on while they're driving, listening to this, but. To me, again, I'm not fucking no skin in the game. Kickboxing, Muay Thai, not the same, but similar.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's a different rule set. You know,
right, but I mean, you know, overall, you got more or less how many kicks that you can do. Yeah, what is it? Knees, elbows.
Yeah, you're gonna get punch, kick, knee.
Yeah, but kickboxing and Muay Thai, other than the fact that maybe the rules are different, can a Muay Thai go to a kickboxing match, be given the rules, and go, and within a little very short time, he'd probably be good at it?
He could already be good at it.
And vice versa?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
right, absolutely. So it's not like...
It's just a different style.
It's not like karate and jiu-jitsu, go! And it would be like weird because one doesn't know the other, right?
Yeah. Right. Absolutely.
And the jiu-jitsu guy would fuck him up.
Not necessarily.
I know, you're right.
Right, you can be a black belt, but you get hit in the face.
Right, no, if Wonder Boy unloads that
some
fucking...
things start to change, and then, you know...
if Wonder Boy unloads that fucking... that coiled monster of a leg that he's got... Did you... there's a lot of people who shit on the two Wonder Boy fights with...
Look, you're gonna have boring fights, you know, but people love to hate too much.
Tyron Woodley. The thing about it is again, I understand when he explained himself. He's a very articulate young man, Tyron Woodley. I think he's even my age. Fuck that young man shit. But the point I'm trying to make is, the guy is very well spoken, very clear in his approach, but. Fuck, Tyron, why do you come off as a pissed off black guy?
Yeah.
I mean, Joe Rogan really laid it out there for him. He's going, Tyron, why the hell? He's like, well, they don't. Why is the Diaz McGregor on the table? Why wouldn't it be And he's like, bro, it's because those guys are the ones that made the headlines. Tyron Woodley, the only times he comes off is either he wins. You know what he's coming off is he's getting that Mayweather. Not that he's not arrogant like Mayweather, but he's becoming the heel, the anti-hero. And what did you think about the Cormier John Jones thing?
I wanted Cormier to win, but I think John Jones won because of technique. I honestly do. I don't think you can blame it. I mean, you can do whatever you want. If you're a fan, you have the right to your own opinion, whatever. But I think he won with technique. I'd love to see John Jones back. Hopefully he gets his shit together.
If he legitimately lost for a steroid test, But here's my problem with the whole thing, and I'm actually like, oh God, I'm not gonna be like, oh, it's a conspiracy, but dude, what he got caught for. The type of steroid he did was back in the fucking late 70s, early 80s. It's not even like it's not the type of. It doesn't make sense to have that in their system. First of all, secondly, if you did do it, John Jones, you could beat that guy without steroids. Why would you take him? You could beat, and Daniel Cormier is a monster. I mean, Daniel Cormier is one of the best in the world.
Yeah, he is. He don't get enough credit, man. That guy's
super good. But, well, you know why I don't think he gets credit? Is because he's doughy. Honestly,
he should get more credit.
He should get more credit for how does he achieve it by looking so doughy.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is he doesn't look like the chiseled He-Man-y kind of guy. Because, they often say the same thing about Big Country. Like, Big Country should be, like, sponsored by, like, somebody should get behind Big Country as the common man. Because that's a heavyweight motherfucker right there.
Exactly.
I mean, he's a fucking super good jiu-jitsu grappler.
Yep.
Super good.
Absolutely.
All belly.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
You got to appreciate that. That's called going out there and getting it. Doing what you got to do,
But the thing about it is Cormier looks like he ate a biscuit on the way to the fight. And bad to the bone.
That's the way to do it. I want to be eating biscuits on the way to the fight. I would hate to cut weight. I've never cut weight in competition. I don't believe in it. I guess I should to be in better shape. If I could cut weight and probably be in better shape, but I would rather enjoy life and eat and compete without doing it. And
and also, what is the weight class you compete at? Is just whatever you weigh in at is whatever, or what are the weight classes?
There's weight classes, but honestly, I don't ever remember because I just show up what I weigh.
I think
they're usually like 190 or 180 to 185 or I don't know. I just show up.
I think if it was MMA, I think the idea is if you are a light 185 or if you're 200 and you lose 15 pounds and you are a monster 185, or are you 179 and you ate and gained, but you didn't cut any weight, but unless you're exactly where you need to be dialed in with your cardio, I think the idea is the 200-pound guy hits 185 harder than a 179. Is what the theory is.
Yeah. It is. I could cut weight and be in better shape. Absolutely.
But as a jiu-jitsu,
and eat better as well. But
as a jiu-jitsu practitioner, though, I think more important than your physique would be your cardio. Right? Yeah, technique, obviously, but aside from all that, what matters what you do or don't know if you gas up and you lose you know what I mean?
Yeah, it definitely matters.
like I can see where you would cut weight if you were going to hit the guy with all your strength. But if you're going to cut weight so you can, do jiu-jitsu, it would be it might even be bad for you because those guys are heavily depleted when they get on the scale.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
Look at Khabib, before he got a nutritionist. I thought it was so funny when they were having a conversation out west and Brendan Schaub's like, it offends me that this guy's ranked number one in the world and be like, oh, he just got a nutritionist. Hello.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I just learned when I was listening to the interview with Rogan that Tyron Woodley had no trainer and no coach all the way up until he won the championship. And then was like, well, I got this far, I better go ahead and dial it in. And went and got a good team put around him. What do you think about TJ Dillashaw, man?
When getting his own camp now, or
when Dillashaw beat?
It's awesome.
You're not a Dillashaw fan?
No, it's awesome. I'm glad Dillashaw won. I trained Bang Muay Thai. That's what
But Corey Garbrandt, right? That's Cody Garbrandt is who he beat.
Yeah,
and that was the big, when you watch Cody Garbrandt fight others, it's the same thing with that. I tell you what, though, man, he looked great when he fought him, and he got in his face after he knocked him out. He was all in his face. Did you see that picture? That it's like eternally frozen. That and Ngannou's uppercut will be eternally frozen in time.
Yeah.
But there's a scene where TJ's like all in his face, and he's just ripped all the way. He looked chiseled.
That's pure emotion.
What do you think about TJ
against Mighty Mouse? I want to see it happen.
It's happening.
Let's pay Mighty Mouse a shitload of money too. Let's pay him a shitload of money.
Is he not a gentleman?
Let's quit talking about if he's popular or not. He's broke the record. Push that guy. Put him on a cereal box. If he should be on a cereal box, Mighty Mouse.
No shit.
Why
I'm surprised he doesn't have his own cartoon. Like Mr. T had, he had a cartoon,
That's a good guy, that's someone who's stuck to being him, and look how good he is. You can say whatever about his weight class, To the average person, he'd come in and run up. It'd be like he came in here like a Tasmanian devil, running up walls, kicking your ass. He'd be in and out before you even knew it.
Honey badger. The thing about what I find interesting is what's the difference in size? What Mighty Mouse is 125, 130,
125,
125, but TJ is 135.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing that blows my mind. It's only a difference of 10 pounds, but why is TJ's weight class so much more popular? You see what I'm saying? Because they're little motherfuckers too.
Yeah.
I mean, shit. Both of those guys are tiny little motherfuckers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mighty Mouse, I don't know how tall he is, but he looks like you could put him in your pocket. I mean, granted, he'll kick you right in the dick, but but I don't know what competition Mighty Mouse has had up to this point.
He fought in that weight class. The only person he lost to was Dominic Cruz. And he had a draw with Ian McCall.
TJ.
Mighty Mouse has fought in TJ's weight class.
Right, before. But Mighty Mouse and TJ are going to be coming together at Mighty Mouse's weight class because TJ won.
If they do
because TJ won 2 belts.
Yeah, they should do it like that.
So when that one happened,
Still with the springs going.
did you see him wake up?
That's life.
So TJ or Mighty Mouse?
I'm going for TJ all day. I got to. But I like them both just as much.
I think I like Mighty Mouse because he's always, there's never been, I don't even know of him being disrespectful or inappropriate shit talking. Like he's always
never.
And again, I think TJ was going a little bit like, Cody Garbrandt was already known for being a shit talker, and it fits good on him. Like you can tell he's good at it. You know what I mean? I don't like when people aren't good at it and they're trying.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's one thing about GSP. GSP was always a gentleman. And how did you like the fight with him and your boy from England? When he just
I couldn't pick. I like Michael Bisping. It's hard to pick in that fight. GSP looked good though.
Well, you know what? Honestly, I thought Bisping was going to win because I thought GSP was going to have ring rust.
It was in that third round. I felt like if it kept going, Bisping would have won.
The other thing,
5 rounds.
The other thing is the Bisping is just a piece of fucking gnawed up leather, man. That dude is bad.
Yep.
That dude's got that Brit grit.
That's what I like about him. He's a hard worker, but
he's just guts, man.
Yeah,
he doesn't look like shit compared to a lot of these guys. And I say that, Bisping, with the uttermost respect, you are one of my favorite fighters, but you don't look like, when he beat Silva, when Silva gave him the knee because, when it was him and Silva fighting and Bisping was talking to the ref, Silva didn't know and gave him the flying knee and knocked him the fuck out right when the bell rang. It was the second fight between them. And it was like 2 weeks notice, and he ended up winning and getting the championship from him. That's how it all started for Bisping, I believe, right? Did he take
He fought Luke Rockhold.
Okay, I'm sorry.
In the second.
Before Luke Rockhold, he fought Silva, and he got knocked out by a flying knee right as the bell rang.
Pretty much, yeah.
And then woke up. What the fuck happened? Yeah. All right, you ready? Yeah. All right. Went out and beat his ass.
Fuck yeah, he did, man. Bisping's a shit. Man.
And
that guy, he's always fought the top guys when TRT was cool, and okay to do.
And the thing about
he hung in there, If you look at.
Would you have ever believed he was going to beat Rockhold? Who was going to ever beat Rockhold? That motherfucker.
Yeah, I know that guy, man. He is a badass.
Dude, he doesn't look like he's his weight.
Yeah.
He looks like he's well in his 200 pounds. He looks like a goddamn. He looks like The Rock, like the actor, the old UFC or WWE wrestler. I mean, the guy is built so fucking crazy, and good. Okay, and just a beast, dude. And fucking Bisbee took him. Fucking straight grit Brit, man, or Brit grit, man.
Yeah,
Dude's bad.
You can't count Bisbee out, man.
Dude, I don't count him out until the very end. I mean, until he's out. Like, I mean, even that shit where, you know, he fucking laid GSP open pretty good there towards the end, and the dude was bleeding everywhere, and, you know, but GSP, man, hey, hats off to GSP, because, again, a guy who truly fights for the spirit of the competition, and he's not a hellraiser, and like you said, he's very humble, good-looking motherfucker, doesn't need the money.
I'm with him on the aliens. You know, he's you know, afraid of aliens. Right?
He said he was abducted, right?
I don't know if he said all that, but
I think he said something happened, but he doesn't talk about it because if I'm not mistaken, it might be somebody I was high and I got mixed up on the names, but it was something to the effect of if it happened to you, what do you think people would say if you told them? I
don't know. I'd be worried about what the alien said. Like if they're like, motherfucker, you better not say anything. You know, then I'm not gonna say anything. If they're like, it don't matter, I'd be telling people. I'd be like, you know what just happened? You know.
Well, you know.
Who gives a shit? You just got abducted by an alien. Why not? I would say, hey, dude, you won't believe what happened last night.
We got a few more minutes. I'm gonna wrap this up just because we were just enjoying the conversation. But I'm gonna give you a list of things that we can talk about, or you can look it up and I can look it up. I'm gonna get some shit for back here because I gotta be better. Universe, I don't do this very often, right? So I'm talking about names and shit. I don't know everybody off the top of my head, but I will. You know. So the thing is, and I'm gonna say it wrong, but I'll say it anyways. Gitman Temple. I think it's almost how you say it. Are you familiar with that term?
No.
So, in a very rough layman's term, I'm gonna butcher it. Okay, this is probably hella wrong, but this is the way the cliff notes that I understand it. They found a temple or a monument. You know how the Egyptians would build a pyramid in honor of somebody? Okay, so they found some sort of a burial monument that was built, and then the people put a mountain on top of it. And they are currently digging it up. So right now at the Gitman Temple site, they have, you know, you have to take it section by inch by inch. You know, everything has to be okay. So where they're at so far, they've started to pull, like you're starting to get to the tops of the towers and shit. The carbon dating predates the Old Testament. So the building is older than what the Old Testament claims is the beginning. And then on top of that, it was built with tools that were way too advanced to build that type of structure underneath a mountain predating the Old Testament.
Yeah, we don't have no shit like that.
Then they send these, you know, with modern technology, you can stick layman's terms, stick a metal rod in the ground and it'll take a picture of what's underneath. Supposedly, it'll be years before they get to where they start. This building has engravings and sculptures of humanoid-looking people riding spaceships and looking in seated machine-like devices, looking up on the pillars of the front of this temple.
Yeah.
So it's blowing everyone's mind. Everyone's all fucking freaked out because this is going to be debunking a lot of things like, I don't know, religion. So there's a lot of shit that's coming down the pipe. And I talk about not to bring doom and gloom, but I say there's 3 things that we don't even realize that we need to worry about, while we are being distracted by, now I'm getting into some conspiracy talk.
Let's go.
When we are distracted by social justice warriors outraged that the lizards home life is going to be destroyed, so everyone has to stop work on a 12-lane highway. So everyone has to stop getting paid so that these activists can try to preserve whatever for this stupid lizard. All of which, while all this is going on, there is, okay, so even on the first individual scale, you have the axis of enemies, which are three superpowers, Russia, China, and North Korea, all of which are pound for pound hardier people than we are, because they have dealt with and they live through a harder life than we do. Right now, Puerto Rico has been out of power and it's a tragedy, blah, blah, blah. But that being said, Cuba got fucked up by the hurricane too. And nobody knows what's going on out there. You know what's going on? Nothing. Everything's fine because these people are self-sufficient. So the point is, we are so dependent on everybody and ourselves. The only thing we've got going for us at this point in our lives is we're on the opposite end of everyone else, and we can see you coming, and we got a lot of guns. Otherwise, we would be absorbed by them a long time ago. So problem number one, somebody can easily at some point come get through the line. If they get through our already weakened defenses because of the difference in the tides that bind us, defenses down, the different things have been, but we are still bad to the bone. But if they get through, the common fat, entitled, enabled American has no hope. No hope. That's problem one. Problem two, take the camera and pull it back a little bit further out of the earth, and there are legitimately melting polar ice caps. Now, people are like, oh, does that mean the water's going to rise and it's going to flood? No, that's not the problem. Based on what they're saying from out west, the problem is there is a layer, and I'm saying this wrong, motherfuckers, there is a layer of whatever it is when all the dinosaurs and all the everything came together, and that layer of crust in the earth, then everything went on top of it, and then ice caps went on top of that, and everything's all good. The problem is what's the plane that's melting is going, now this is what they say, is the whatever's underneath that, and I'm going to have terms for it the next time when we actually delve into it. If the polar ice caps melt to where that layer of whatever's supposed to stay covered is not stay covered, it becomes uncovered, it will release some sort of a noxious gas that doesn't leave the atmosphere and will basically kill us all. And there's nothing stopping that. There's if you poll 1,000 scientists that are involved in that all over the world, you have a unanimous 1,000 people saying it's just a matter of time. It's absolutely happening. There's nothing we can do about it. We've been saying this the whole time, but we don't get that information. Okay? So that's the second of three. And then you pull the camera back one more time, and if you, based on the things that we've heard from out west, thousands of near-Earth collisions happen every few years from asteroids and outer, comets and shit that are missing us by cunt hairs. Okay, so that there's a big piece. Like if you took a picture of the Earth, the part of the America that looks like a barren wasteland that has a giant dent in it. Yeah, that's from a fucking asteroid that happened millions of years before the Old Testament.
Yeah. Well, with that being said, I'd say the biggest thing we got to worry about is just being complacent, because it can happen anytime. So don't be complacent. Do something. Find what you like to do and do it. Well, spend the time wisely, and
are you talking about if it just goes from light to dark, like if it just ends?
Just right now.
From the time that you put in,
just how much life
have you enjoyed? Yeah,
just right now I'm doing
for no other reason except what I'm talking about. You get to begin that now, so so you definitely need to fuck with me this weekend, and we'll just go out there, all of us together. Yeah, because that'll be fun. You know what I mean? Get you out there, get your dick wet. We had this fucking nerdy. No, that's the term in general. We had this nerdy girl, the scientist comic. Yeah. And her opening line was, "Oh my God, I'm all by myself. It's so much fun. I get to get my dick wet." And when she said that, she's so cute and she's so sweet and she's so intelligent, and then all of a sudden she's filthy. Oh, it was such a breath of fresh air.
That's awesome.
So I said that.
We need
Shout
more of
out
that.
Sarah Geiler. That was beautiful. She's a bad bitch. She's
We need
gonna be a
more comedy.
big shot. So the other thing that I think we as a people need to remember is how to make a fire.
Yes, and you know what? Why isn't every kindergartner taught this?
Why?
By the end of kindergarten, a kid would know how to make a fire. You can't tell me they won't. They can't. If
Well-
you spent, not only do you need to learn what they learn regularly in kindergarten, but why can't they learn how to make a fire?
Yeah, I mean-
and tend to a chicken.
Right.
I have 4 chickens. I get 4 eggs a day. That's mainly what I eat. Is that's the first thing I eat when I wake up. Throw some vegetables in there. You just let it cook. And I just saw 4 chickens.
That's it.
I spend $30 a month on food. You know, you can say you can equal it out to eggs or whatever, but that's just something right there. I don't have to do anything. I don't.
Yeah, but that's also because we discussed it. You opt, which we're going to be delving into this universe. You opt for organic and
Yes.
and
And we-
healthy, non-chemical. That's
we do need
another-
to dive into it on a different time because you can get scammed with organic. Not everything do you need to necessarily buy organic. And not only that, there's a lot of organic stuff that's still bad for you.
Right.
You know,
No doubt.
if you eat an organic Debbie cake, you know, it's still bad for you.
Oh,
you
no,
know?
yeah, no.
But not just that, you don't necessarily have to. It doesn't need to be.
I have a bit that I wrote
For-
about. There's this Indian restaurant in downtown Orlando. I go there for Uber Eats,
Yeah, yeah.
and they promote table or grounded table, whatever, and they have their own. A lot of the vegetables and herbs they use come from their own garden.
Yeah.
That's surrounded by 4 major intersections, which is I-4, 408. These huge bridges surround, and I'm going. So you're right.
Yeah.
Not all organic is the best.
Yes,
The other
that's a good
thing
point.
the other thing is like I'm actually, and we're blessed because of our location, Central Florida. We have Wagyu beef farms here in town. We have Angus beef farms. We have organic gardens that you can actually go and get the produce you want right from that garden right there, from that patch of land. So the thing that we're looking at now, what I'm trying to raise awareness of myself is I want to get 2 dozen chickens and feed everybody eggs, and I want to get I want people to. It offends me that I'm buying a head of lettuce from California when you can buy it from a market that was grown here. You know what I mean? What in the hell does it take to get a piece of lettuce from 5,000 miles away
Yeah, exactly.
when you grow it here in Florida?
Yeah.
So I'm all about trying to get the small vendor, the small guy who's got, and then on top of that, I was inspired by eventually having a plot of land that people tend for themselves and have their own vegetables for free. That's another thing I was looking at. I was thinking about getting into it early, but I'm not ready because I got too much shit going on. So eggs, chickens make eggs. I just gotta throw the chicken and feed in there.
You do not need a male chicken to get an egg. A lot of people think you do. You definitely don't.
Oh, look.
You can have a female chicken with no male chicken, and you get eggs.
And the good news
And
is
a rooster is a chicken. For those of you that think a rooster is not a chicken, because a lot of people do as well. I
okay.
don't know why, but
That's weird.
so now you know that. Those are facts you should know.
My neighbor who's helping me, he's old Puerto Rican dude. I live in a small community where you're not allowed to have chicken coops and cows and shit. But my neighbor has a small lot and has garden and he has vegetables and he has chickens and he has a
sure.
pig smoker and he's good to go.
Yeah.
So he and I are getting this together. We're gonna put a big old chicken coop because one of the big things I'm trying to do is get rid of maintenance on that part of the land. Just I'm trying to get rid of. So we're gonna have a big chicken coop. Everyone's gonna eat for free, and we're gonna start delving in. I'm gonna probably start doing like a. How the YouTubers, they'll plot and keep track of their weight loss so people can watch it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try that because I need to get up and get out and get going. But most importantly, I figure if a million people are telling me go fuck myself, fat boy, I might want to get up and get moving. You know what I'm saying?
Do 10 minutes worth of Tabatas a day is all you need. of course, I work out at, I do jiu-jitsu. That's good training there.
Yeah,
but as far as strength, honestly, even if no matter what you're doing, you do, a Tabata where you would do go all out for 20 seconds, rest for 10 seconds.
Right.
Go all out for 20 seconds, rest for 10 seconds. Do that for 4 minutes. That's 8 rounds. Do it of one simple exercise, squats, whatever, and then switch it up. Do another one. Do 8 minutes a day. You can do 12 if you want. And you'll be amazed what just that does. Just doing a little bit at a time, that consistency. And before you know it, you're like, oh shit, I got 20 minutes. I'll do 20 minutes.
Right.
But I stay in good shape, and honestly, I can't tell you the last time I've worked out longer than a half hour. Mm-hmm. And that's been for years, But, just simplify it. Simplify things. People overcomplicate it. It's a quick, easy way to save time.
Plus consistency.
And spend 10, 15 minutes doing something else too.
Right.
Studying your favorite thing to do.
Yeah.
If it's playing a video game, be badass at it,
So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and start wrapping this thing up.
Yelling at the coffee pot until it's ready.
Right?
That's what I do.
That's what you do? Well, you're good at it. You yell like no other. The last segment of every show, because this will be beautiful for you because you seem like you have a lot to say and you can take all the time you want. We do what's called the message to the universe. So, Joe Rogan episode 001, you can go right now and click on it. 9 years ago, he had hair. He was on Fear Factor still. And you can watch episode 1 all the way till to now. Which means, in theory, his great-great-great-grandkids, if things keep going the way they're supposed to, can look back on it too. So this is a chance that every one of my guests has a thing that they could say to my future spawn generations, or to people that, like, maybe there's some things you'd like to tell the universe that you figured out either the hard way or something that you feel like they should know. And maybe there is a young kid who should probably not be listening to this podcast but does, especially with cool parents who are willing to allow their kid to think for themselves. And they are being impressed upon, and they are being motivated by the things their heroes say. You might be that one person, the thing that gets them to think. So take a moment, get your thoughts together, say what you got to say. When you're done, just be like, and that's all I got, and then we'll wrap it up. And then I appreciate you coming on the show. Let me get you one of these before you go. And then you give the universe, then we'll say goodbye, and then you're definitely going to be, ladies and gentlemen, he's going to be here a lot. So this is not just a guest that, I'm honored to have him, but he's going to be around a lot because especially with all the breakdowns we're going to do and stuff. We're going to have it where we'll have all the notes. The big stuff will be back there. We can have some stuff even here. When it comes to that, I'm going to need it at least until I can get the groove of it. I don't have it all up here like they do. I'm just not that good yet. Plus, I'm a stoner. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up with the message to the universe. Once again, thank you, Mr. Danny Ruby. Give the universe a piece of your mind.
Well, let's say it's a whole universe, man. There's so much to say to a universe.
Take your time.
I'd say the main thing is goes back to, I think it's kind of simple. Just do what makes you happy. Everyone knows what happy feels like. It's a really good feeling. So try to do what makes you happy as much as you can. Don't think it's going to come easy. You're not entitled, so don't think it's going to come easy. You're going to have to work to do what you want.
Well said.
You got to survive. Just like Alex says, half of us don't know how to make a fire. If you give me 2 sticks and I rub them together, I ain't making a fire. I should know that too. An answer to that can be take 15 minutes a day, whether you work out, you're looking into eating healthy, you're looking in how to beat a level on a video game, anything that makes you happy. Study it for 15 minutes. You can give yourself that. You're working at a job. You give that job your time. You give your friend your time. You give your family member your time. But what about that you time? What are you doing to make yourself happier? And if you're happier yourself, then the people around you will be happier. So whatever that is, just try to figure it out and do you, and work hard at it. Don't be complacent. Keep fighting for what you want to do.
Do you play video games?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, what we can do, just as another thing, as far as promoting your brand, I can get you hooked up with a bunch of goofball Twitch guys who are building their social media through Twitch. I don't know if you know what that is.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm actually going to be, there's a Twitch podcast universe as well. But we're going to be, but like I said, I got all these Twitch heads that have their own shows. And basically, like, all you'd be doing is and this is just, we'll wrap this up, but get you some, you know, some merch, you know, get you either whatever, like a fight sticker or, you know, yeah. And then, but the thing is then you'd have your own merch. Then you go on their show. You don't even have to really be good. You just have to be entertaining. And then, like, at some point, you know, be like, you know, eventually you'll find there's a couple cooler ones, you know, whatever, some maybe that are even athletic. They'll be like, oh, fuck it, let's wrestle about it. And and then you guys will end up wrestling on Twitch. And it's fun, you know, it's just goofing off.
Yeah.
And then there's also another comic that I'll connect with, Eugene Torres. He's a good-looking Latin dude who, he was 3-0 professional UFC fighter and retired. When he took a couple hits and he's like, not worth it. Retired.
Yeah.
So, all right, universe, that's it. Love, peace, chicken grease. Thank you for all you do. We out.